Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about oversharing. Why we overshare and how to stop oversharing. Because this is a huge problem for a lot of people in modern society. And if you're a woman that is on a level up or hypergamous journey, oversharing can really sabotage your progress. And I know a lot of people do it, and I know it seems normal, but oversharing is really hurting you. You have to learn how to not only maintain mystery, but you have to understand that not everything is meant to be shared. Some things are left unsaid, some things are meant to take with you to the grave. So if this is a topic that you are interested in, please keep on watching. So before we get into the topic, ladies, make sure you subscribe to this channel if this is your first time. Okay, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so that you know when I upload a new video. I've decided that I'm going to post more content on here regularly. And also, if you would like to have access to more exclusive, more advanced topics, you can sign up to my Patreon. The link is below. Once you sign up, you literally have 2 years worth of content to get through. So having said that, let's get on to this topic. So before we get into the reason why people overshare, let's talk about why society makes it seems like it's normal to overshare. If you are a millennial, because most likely you are, if you're watching this video, most likely you are a millennial, because the majority of my viewers are in fact millennial women. There are some men and there's sometimes I don't know why. But if you're a millennial, you must have grown up watching TV shows where you see girls go on a date and she's acting super awkward and she's talking so much. Or maybe you read books where the female character is dating this guy and she's telling this guy everything about her. But I feel like oversharing really started when social media started, because I remember when I was growing up, people wasn't out here oversharing. A lot of people were keeping their business to themselves, etc. When social media became a thing, I remember a lot of people were on social media sharing the most asinine information about themselves, like, oh, I just got out of the shower, or I just went on a walk, or I just had breakfast, etc. So I believe that's where it started. Okay, because society doesn't want you to win. A lot of the things that society encourages right now is really harming the human collective. And the relationship between men and women, the relationship between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So it's a lot going on, and I don't want to get into that because this video is going to turn into something political, which I don't want to. But I just think it's so funny when you think about it that society and Hollywood are the ones that are encouraging people to overshare. I'm sure you've watched a movie where you saw a character is getting therapy, and the therapist is telling her that when you gotta be open, you gotta be honest, you gotta share things with your partner, you gotta learn how to express yourself, blah blah blah. So people took that and run with it, and everyone out here is now oversharing, talking too much, way too much. I remember I was watching a PUA video here on YouTube some years ago, and I was shocked, y'all, where this guy was going out and meeting women randomly on the street, and he got one of those women to go on a date with him, and he was filming the entire thing, the entire conversation, and everything was filmed. Like, the lengths these men will go to for views is crazy. But in the video, the woman talked the whole time. The guy was barely talking, barely saying anything. All she did was talk. And at the end of the night, he took her home. They had sex, and he never called her again. So I know it's really, really raggedy. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why people overshare, because it has been normalized. So what is oversharing? This is how I define oversharing. For me, oversharing is an anti-seductive behavior. If you have read The Art of Seduction, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. When people overshare, they think that they are getting close, or they probably think that a lot of them think that they're connecting with the person. But in reality, when you overshare, you are not only turning people off and chasing people away, you are giving bad people, and when I say bad people, I mean like narcissists, sociopaths, etc. You're giving these people a lot of information about you that they can use against you. And that's the last thing you want. There is no benefits whatsoever that I can think of whatsoever of oversharing. And this is an issue that a lot of women have, and men do it too, but a lot of women do it. But I'm telling you, once you curb this habit of oversharing and you become the mysterious, high-value woman like you should, you are going to literally be a breath of fresh air, because men are not used to women like you, period. So one of the reasons why people overshare is because it gives them a false sense of intimacy. It makes you think that you're getting close to the person, which isn't true. What you are actually doing is chasing the person away. Nobody likes someone that's a blabbermouth and talks too much. And some people, it's a turn off, because it has happened to me as well. When I'm talking to a guy and he starts oversharing, I would immediately block him. I'm gonna give you all a story time. I met this guy and we were supposed to go on a date, and he canceled the date at the last minute. And not only did he cancel the date, that's like literally a deal breaker for me, because you don't get to cancel the first date. Is it toxic? Maybe, but I don't care. Not only did he cancel on the last minute, he went on to talk about his health, like, oh, I'm not feeling well and I have to go to the doctor, and he's sending me pictures of his prescription and his medication and stuff like that. And I was like, oh no, I don't like this. I blocked him immediately. Oversharing is a turn off, and if you as a woman don't like it when men do it, then don't expect men to like it either. And not just men in general, I'm talking about anyone, everyone. Okay, you do not overshare with your coworkers, your boss, etc. But we will get there. Another reason why people overshare is because they feel that by doing that, it can fast track the relationship or the connection or something like that. So it's basically a misguided attempt at trying to fast track a relationship. If you're trying to fast track a relationship, it just gives off a lot of desperate energy, and people pick up on that. And when I say people, anyone, because this can also apply to friendships as well. Acquaintances is not just it's not just because you're dating. All right. Also, it's a sign that you have poor boundaries. That's one of the reasons why people overshare, because they do not have strong personal boundaries. They feel like if they don't tell all their business, no one's gonna like them, etc. And in many cases, I feel like oversharing is also a form of people pleasing. And when you look back into people that tend to overshare, a lot of them experience abuse, or be living with narcissistic parents, or being raised by narcissistic parents, or a narcissistic parent, either or, it doesn't matter. And also you got to remember that people who lack boundaries are people that lack close relationships, because a lot of women have poor boundaries. They are pick-me's and they allow men to do whatever they want to them, and a lot of them are single, losing out, and they don't have anyone in their life who not only loves them but also respects and cherishes them. Other reasons is also another misguided attempt to make someone feel more comfortable, because you think that, oh, if I overshare, if I share this information, this person will feel comfortable with me, they will know that I have nothing to hide. Sounds good in theory, but really it's not. It's hurting you. It really is. And in many cases, when the person is oversharing, especially when it comes to traumatic experiences, it's, in most cases, this person is trying to elicit sympathy from others, pity, I don't know, whatever, sympathy, empathy, whatever it is. Usually it's sympathy, because if you are empathetic to someone, you will understand their situation, and but you're not going to sympathize them and enable them and be like, oh, poor you. You will basically show them that, what, yes, shit happens, but you got to get up and move on. Okay, so you do not have to overshare for someone to feel comfortable with you. At the end of the day, you have to understand that people will either like you or they wouldn't, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to be out here telling your business to get attention, and of course there are definitely people who overshare to get attention, to create shock. Like maybe your coworker that works on the desk in the cubicle next to you comes to work and start talking about her having an affair. Maybe it's a situation like that, but usually people like that, they are desperate for attention and also seeking validation. The last place you want to seek validation is without yourself, outside of yourself. Do not expect validation from people in this world. And don't expect validation from your boyfriend, your parents, your boss, etc. Because usually if you are seeking validation, it means that you probably did not get it when you were younger, or maybe you got too much of it. Who knows? There's a lot of reasons, and of course, that's all about psychology, etc. I'm not a psychologist. I'm speaking from my experience and my observation and also research. But what I can guarantee you is that if you are out here seeking seeking validation and love outside of yourself, you will always fail. You will always attract people that do not value you, people that don't prioritize you, people that don't give a shit about you. Okay? So, how do we stop oversharing? Let's talk about how to stop oversharing. So this is how you stop oversharing if you are a chronic oversharer. If you still overshare sometimes, this information will also be helpful. But you gotta understand, one of the things that is going to make you really understand why it's important for you to stop oversharing, and this information will also make it easier for you to stop oversharing, is the fact that nobody cares. Nobody cares, okay? Like really, nobody cares. That guy that you're on a date with, you on that date, telling him your whole life story, sharing your traumatic experiences with him, etc. He does not care. He does not care because he does not know you. He's trying to get to know you, and you are not making the experience easy or enjoyable for him. All you need to do, ladies, when you go on a date is look good, smell good, smile, and be charming. Okay, that's all you have to do when you go on a date. You don't even need to talk much. You really don't. And then when you're sitting there oversharing on a date, that person is not going to feel connected to you. That person is going to walk away and they're going to be like, damn, all she did was talk about herself. And again, when you overshare with someone that you don't know, especially in a dating situation, all you're doing is giving the person more information to use against you. Basically, you're giving the person ammo. You're giving them ammunition, okay? It's like you are basically giving them permission to ruin your life, manipulate you. You're basically giving the person permission to do that. I do not know why my chin is ticklish, but anyway, sorry about that. So, once you understand that nobody cares, and if they seem to care, it just means that they are very good at pretending to be a good listener, or if they are really listening, they are really listening for information that they can use against you. So as long as you understand this, it should make it a lot easier for you to stop oversharing. Another way to stop oversharing is by moving in silence. If you have plans, okay, I don't care what that plan is. Maybe you're planning a trip, maybe you have some kind of goals or whatever. Maybe you're planning to have a baby, maybe you're planning to look for a new job. Do not tell anyone anything. If this person cannot help you get where you're trying to go, you do not tell them. You tell only people that can help you achieve that goal that you're trying to achieve. Okay, if you're planning a trip, if the person that you're telling is not involved in the trip, you do not need to tell them. Let people see you when you post your pictures on social media. If you're trying to plan to have a baby, let people see you show up pregnant one day. And I know it's hard, especially because I used to overshare too. I wasn't a chronic oversharer, but I used to overshare and it never worked for me. It always backfired. And I'm like, I would keep doing it and I'll be like, I'll keep doing it. I'm seeing the patterns, but it's like, I can't help myself. I have like word vomit. So, yeah, stop oversharing. Another reason why you should stop oversharing is because it's anti-seductive. It is not sexy. You need to give people a time to get to know you. If you are sharing your traumatic experiences and you stepped on dog shit on your way to work, if you're sharing that with people, you're giving this person so much information that you become boring, and not only boring but also repulsive, because sometimes people are repulsed by people that are out here just talking all their business. It's a huge turn off. It really is. I think this is going to be my final thought on this. if you must share, because maybe you have something bottling up or whatnot, if you have to share, seek therapy. Please invest in the therapy. Invest in yourself. This is another thing that a lot of chronic oversharers don't do. They don't invest in themselves at all for whatever reason. You need to invest in yourself, okay? You need to find, if you can't afford a therapist, you need to journal, start journaling. Write down everything that you want to get out. Or find someone that you can trust that is willing to listen. But I always recommend therapy, because in therapy they let you, express yourself or whatever. Okay? So yeah, seek therapy. This is very important. Okay, move in silence. Don't tell anybody your plans. Don't let anyone know what you're doing. Try to, understand that, it's important to be mysterious. You cannot maintain mystery if all you do is talk your business. Okay, there is no mystery in that. People love fantasy. People love novelty. They're not gonna appreciate you anymore if you are oversharing. You really do not have to overshare with people to get people to like you, to get validation, to get none of that stuff. The less people know about you, the better. Not only is that sexy, but it makes people even more curious, and they don't know how to treat you. All they can do right now is treat you with the respect that you deserve, because they have no information that they can use against you. And as far as they are concerned, they will have to continue to size you up to figure out how to treat you. Okay? So the less people know about you, the better.